Beijing, AP, China's trade shrank in October as global demand weakened and antivirus controls weighed on domestic consumer spending. Exports declined 0.3% from a year earlier to $298.4 billion, down from September's 5.7% growth, the customs agency reported Monday. Imports fell 0.7% to $213.4 billion, compared with the previous month's 0.3% expansion. China's global trade surplus edged up 0.9% from a year earlier to $85.2 billion. Forecasters expected Chinese trade to weaken as global demand cooled following interest rate hikes by the Federal Reserve and other central banks to rein in surging inflation. Economic growth picked up to 3.9% over a year earlier in the quarter ending in September from 2.2% in the first 6 months of 2022. But forecasters say activity is weakening as closures spread in response to a spike in infections. The economy slowed again in October due to the tightened COVID controls as well as the slowing external demand, said Larry Hu of Macquarie Group in a report. The downturn in Chinese demand hurts developing countries that supply oil, soybeans, and other raw materials in the United States, Europe, Japan, and other suppliers of consumer goods and microchips and other components and technology needed by manufacturers. China's politically sensitive trade surplus with the United States swelled 29.9% to $34.2 billion. Imports from Russia, mostly oil and gas, more than doubled, rising 110.5% over a year ago to $10.2 billion. China can buy Russian energy exports without running afoul of sanctions imposed on President Vladimir Putin's government by the United States, Europe, and Japan. Beijing is stepping up purchases to take advantage of Russian discounts. That irks Washington and its allies by topping up the Kremlin's cash flow and limiting the impact of sanctions. Exports to the 27-nation European Union edged up 5.5% to $44.1 billion, while imports of European goods shrank 15.5% to $21.4 billion. China's surplus with the EU widened by 38.1% to $22.7 billion.